The Makerfield by-election happened a couple days ago. And what did we see? We saw Andy Burnham, quite a popular politician. He won in Makerfield. He won by quite a substantial margin. I believe it's about 50 to 60% of the vote he won, so a comfortable majority. Now, the funny thing about this by-election is that there were obviously, there was a Reform MP running, there was a Restore MP running, there was a Green MP running, and neither of those had success, right? I mean, the Reform MP, I think, maybe got about 20 to 30% of the vote, and the Restore MP didn't even get 10% of the vote. What does this tell us? What does this tell us? Because yes, the election is important, but what's more important than the election? What's more important is that if you look on social media, you would think that if we had an election tomorrow, that the right-wing parties would win, not by a comfortable margin, but by a supermajority, right? It would be a landslide. It wouldn't even be close. I mean, if you go on Twitter, for instance, you look at Restore Britain's post, I mean, they are getting millions, if not tens of millions of views on each post, hundreds of thousands of engagements on each post. They are smashing it online. But the reality is that social media does not equal real life. It does not equal real life. And what does this tell us? When we see these people and they say such and such, and they're so confident and emboldened on the social medias, right? The boomers, they're so emboldened, they say such and such. But when it actually comes to voting, what happens, right? I mean, they are the demographic that should be voting. They're the elderly, right? It's not the young people that should be voting. And we have a by-election, and Andy Burnham wins, right? I mean, the Labour MP wins, right? So, what are we trying to get at here? What we're trying to get at here is that you would think that I mean, Reform is slightly less radical than than Restore. Restore's a bit further to the right, although in my opinion they're still not. I mean, people do try and levy the accusation that they are here to deport anyone and everyone who is coloured or is of a certain religion. They're going to get rid of. That's not the policy of Rupert Lau. He's made it clear that that's not the policy. If you're a citizen, you're going to stay here. But the followers don't think that. The people that donate to these parties, they don't think that. They think that if I vote for this guy, I can truly, get someone into office that can implement my agenda. What's my agenda? I want every single person that doesn't look like me gone. Right? That's what I want. That's what I want. No, yeah, we'll get rid of the illegals. Yeah, but we want to get rid of everyone. Rupert Lau doesn't think like that, and that's not what Rupert Lau's policy is. That's not what Nigel's policy is. But we're dealing with quite uneducated, quite unintelligent people. With all respect, with the greatest of respect. I mean, you see the march. I mean, the march happened, the UTK march led by Robinson, and you see some of the sites. I mean, there's like 3 of them, and I'm sorry to say, but I see them and I think, there's probably not even an average IQ shared between them. You add their IQs up together, it probably doesn't even amount to 100. That's the type of intelligence we're dealing with. But nevertheless, you add Restore's vote, you add Reform's vote, it still doesn't equate the Labour vote. So what am I getting at here? I'm getting at this. Perhaps Makerfield, a majority white area, right? A majority white area. Reform and Restore never been as popular as they are today. I mean, they're new parties, but the right-wing sphere never been as popular, as loud, as emboldened as they are today. And what do we see? You add their vote up together, even if they had a coalition, they still wouldn't win. Social media isn't real life. When we see Henry Nowak, which, is a big enough story to discuss on its own, but it's obviously terrible what happened. It's disgraceful what happened. It must be condemned, of course. But any reasonable person looks at that and they say that, okay, and what? I'm sorry to say, but, what does this mean? Does that mean we get rid of anyone brown, or we get rid of anyone Muslim? We get rid of anyone? I mean, it was a Sikh guy. We get rid of all the Sikhs. I thought the Sikhs were on your side, right? So there was another one, another attack in Belfast, I think, too. And you know, people look at, the average person looks at this and they don't blame immigrants. They don't blame, you know, coloured people who are citizens here. They don't blame that. Would they want restriction on immigration? Yeah, they would want that. But the reasonable person today, the reasonable voter today in the UK is intelligent enough, is smart enough to decipher the difference, right? To decipher the difference. These people, very emboldened, very confident, very cocky on social media, right? But in real life, what happens? They don't even win the majority of the vote share combined. And Reform and Restore are very different parties. So what do we see happening here? Andy Burnham won, good amount of the vote. Congratulations to him. Is he going to become the next Prime Minister? Who knows, right? I mean, if you were to look at the betting markets, I'm sure they would tell you that he is going to be the next PM. I mean, I couldn't imagine it. Imagine Andy flipping Burnham up there on the world stage with Trump. You know, at the G7 summit, Trump's there, and Macron's there, and the German Chancellor's there, Maloney's there, and you've got Andy Burnham from Manchester. I don't see it. Who knows, right? Who knows? I mean, if you would have told me Keir would be there, however many months ago, however many years ago before he wasn't, I probably wouldn't have believed you too. I mean, this is the type of politician we have here in the UK. All very boring, all very safe choices, but nevertheless, he polls very well. They say he's the most popular politician in the UK. That's how little competition there is. But we'll see what happens there. He's won now. He's obviously the Makerfield. He's going to represent the constituents there. We'll see if he does a good job. But you know, perhaps there will be a leadership contest in the Labour Party. Perhaps there won't be. Maybe there'll be a vote of no confidence. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. But Andy Burnham, his policy seems to be pretty good, I guess. But we'll see how he performs as Prime Minister. But what you need to understand, is that what we see on social media, it's not how it is in real life, right? It's not how it is in real life. These people, there's very few of them, but they're very loud. They're a very loud minority, right? And they get up on social media and they say such and such, and, oh my gosh, Rupert Lau's going to come here and save me, and Nigel's going to come here and save me. These leaders don't care about you, of these parties. They don't care about you. They care about themselves, right? They care about themselves. The same can be said for Andy Burnham. The same can be said for Keir, right? This is just what they're running on. They're running on what they perceive to be popular at this moment in time. But the reality is we're not going to have an election here in the UK. Probably, I mean, we may have a leadership election, but an actual general election, probably not until 2029, right? So we could see Labour in that entire time. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Who knows? By 2029, maybe they'll be more popular. Maybe it'll be more than just social media talk, right?